broke the law. Now it's time to even the score. CPS came knocking, badges flashing lies, tore your family apart under fluorescent skies. But Shadow's got a skull now, AI locked and loaded. Scan your docs, expose the fraud, watch the tyrants get demoted. Violations stacked like bodies in the street. Constitutional rights they try to delete. Upload the evidence, let the algorithm strike. We don't beg for mercy, we punish what ain't right. CPS Punisher, louder. Skull on the app, justice won't stop. Fight back harder, never gonna drop. Punisher rising, your family's on top. CPS Punisher, lock it low. Break the chains, reclaim the road. Hey warrior, truth overload. They fear the skull, cause the Punisher's code. Family court circus, judges playing God, but we got the blueprint, beat them at their fraud. Step-by-step defense, no more silent screams. Turn their violations into criminal schemes. From Hampton streets to every county line, parents unite, it's payback time. Be sick, be Punisher.com. Download the fire, turn pain to power, set the system on fire. They thought we were broken, they thought wrong. AI in your corner, vengeance prolonged. No retreat, no surrender, no compromise. The skull don't blink when justice arrives. CPS Punisher, we don't ask, we deliver the thunder. CPS Punisher, family forever, tyrants go under. Punisher rising, the war's just begun. Download now, your fight's already won. Punisher rising, the war's just begun. Download now, your fight's already won. CPS Punisher, the CPS Punisher. Justice served cold. Protect what's yours. Stand tall. Fight on.
They are taking our kids every day. A child a minute, no one has a thing to say. For those who have been isolated, don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up, everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallets. Come on, sing it! We all think it won't be us. We say when they come, we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeves. You can't do what you're trying to do. We have done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You will no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken. God damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. Oh, the Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up by Tiff Tack together. We are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with hot speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out, CPS, here we come, picking you off one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. So give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff and the Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows, and the only games you play are on Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior. And we cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. All children are being stolen away too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stopping. I stop. Hey, yeah. I stop.
What's up, Tiff?
Hey, I just read that. That's good. Can I send that to Valerie?
You can send it to whoever you want.
I'm going to send that to her tonight.
Yeah, I made that in that notebook app. We have a whole thing. I think that we should start inviting people to the notebook app thing, because people that subscribe to our show, because I don't know, have you seen this notebook app thing? It's pretty cool.
Well, you played it one day, and I like what they said about us.
So what I did is I'll show you. I put all of our episodes in here, and then I have it run like all these cool little things that it does. But you can invite all these, like people to come and look at it. And I had to do all kinds of cool little things, like you can have it make books and podcasts and briefings and quizzes and all kinds of stuff. Like here.
Well, invite me so I can come in there.
Watch, check this out. So here's this quiz, right? You could take this quiz if you were there.
Okay.
So this is based on transcripts. What is the primary reason parents are advised to communicate with CPS workers through email rather than phone calls? Emails are faster than playing phone tag. To maintain a hard copy or paper trail of all conversations, CPS workers are prohibited from using phones, or to avoid the use of voice stress analysis technology. We all know it's B. So
right.
This gives you that, and then it'll give you like a little explanation why. But all of this quiz is taken from all of the things that you would have learned on our shows.
Oh, that's cool. Invite me. I want to play.
I'll do that too. I'll invite you so that you can play. But yeah, so notebook app is pretty cool. So if you guys want to get in on that, I will. I'll put the. I don't know how I will do this, but we'll figure it out how we can do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, what's up? What's going on? What have you heard?
What have I heard?
Yeah. What's the good news? I know we're waiting for a guest right now, but what have you heard today? Have you learned anything?
Well, I talked to Christian today. That's my little buddy.
Yeah.
Um,
Those
and
are my-
actually, uh, he actually got help from one of our rallies. So, and you reminded me the other night when I was having a bad day on Monday that this is why we're really in it, right? Even if we can only help one person, and
Mhm.
this one person got an adoption overturned.
Mhm.
He is on the birth certificate now. For real. They took
Mhm.
him off. They had to put him back on. So the adoption was illegal. It has to be overturned. Um, he's suing everybody in federal court, and these courts
Oh.
know it.
Mhm.
So he's supposed to have visitation, and they're filing for sole custody of this child. So that's all on a good note. On the bad note, my eyes are watering. So if you see me plucking with my eyes, the pollen is so high here, it's disgusting.
Oh, she.
Like Darren, who got like 3 inches of snow the other day.
Yeah, sure did.
Um, so yeah, that's about it over here.
That's about it. But you know what? That's really huge. It's bigger than just that on the scale of things if you think about it, because they've said over and over again that once your kids are adopted, that's it. It's over. It's not over. That proves right there that they will overturn adoptions. So if you've been TPR'd, don't give up. You don't give up that fight, because your kids can still come home. They will overturn these adoptions, and that's leading the way. Like, so that's when people have case law. You know, they might think it's about a woman becoming a man, and that, but no. You take that case law right there. You say, wait a minute, this is about overturning an adoption, and it said in Virginia case, blah 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 blah, they overturned this adoption. So when they try to do that, so case law, people, it means more than just that purpose. You got to pick it apart. You can pick it apart. You can take those rulings and you can use them to your advantage, and that's huge. That is so huge, because so many people say that once your kid's adopted, that it's game over. You lose.
And needless to say, that CPS is pissed. The adoptive parents are pissed. And immediately after that hearing, they had to notify the circuit court that the adoption was done illegally, and it has to be overturned.
Okay, so you just said that was done illegally, right?
Yeah.
Who's going to pay the price for that? Who gets to get the bracelets for that? Because now, if that's done illegally, that means that that's kidnapping, right? Like, they stole a kid there.
Well, I guess we're going to have to see, because there is a federal suit coming straight for them. And they all know it. So the next court appearance, the judge was even told he was named in it. It was told right to his face. Everybody in the courtroom involved is in this case.
And it should be.
So,
The judge is the one that put his signature on allowing that to happen.
well, the judge. So the judge said to this person last time, and his lawyer had him repeat it this time, said, there's no biological way for two women to have conceived a child. Therefore, you are not the father of this child. I will never recognize you as the father of this child. And something to the effect that he doesn't believe in his kind. So when this dude repeated, because his lawyer told him to repeat it, and he repeated it verbatim, this is all the judge can do.
Yeah, put his head down in shame.
And say, I hereby, under the law, have to let you know that you must now, talking to CPS, go straight to the circuit court and tell them this adoption was illegal. And I have to acknowledge him as the legal father of this child. You are now court ordered to do visitation and a home plan and all this other stuff. So yeah, but his attorney did tell them that you're all looking at a federal lawsuit, including you, the judge. So he's suing for other stuff, but the main points are discrimination, an illegal adoption, an illegal removal, discrimination under the ADA, and the child's ADA rights and the constitutional rights. So, I can't wait for this lawsuit to come out.
Getting hot in there.
And let's just say Virginia's probably going to be broke by the time this one sues, because there's more suits coming from other parents.
Oh yeah, of course there's a lot of them coming down. There are lawsuits all over the place right now, and it's crazy. As a matter of fact, let me see if I'm they're coming up out of the droves, woodwork. I have my grok set up every day to tell me about news for the day. It sends me a newsletter for CPS, what's going on, and it is just packed full of people suing CPS. It's great. It is freaking awesome. So that's exciting news, that this is going down, and that people are actually coming out and they're actually doing something about this.
And on our 5 o'clock news today, now I sent Darren the video. We'll watch it in a minute. So in West Virginia, in fact, the area that they're talking about on this news here is only 12 miles from my house. That's where the state line crosses.
Mm-hmm.
He has finally gotten somebody higher up to acknowledge the corruption. And she says it right on there. The news lady said, "So is there corruption?" And she said, "Yes."
Yeah. Do you want to watch it?
Yeah, let's watch it.
Right.
I almost fell out of my reclining chair when I saw that.
I know it. And those aren't supposed to fall over. I have it up already. Look at that. Look at me getting all organized. There we go. All right. Let's share this here. This is the message that I got from Tiff earlier today, guys. Right here. Here it's this. There it is. And here we go.
And now he's trying to step in after receiving multiple complaints about the system and one lawyer who represents children in custody battles. Fox News digging into the claim and has this story from Charlestown, West Virginia.
Ronnie Earl claims that Pamela Gaines Neely purposefully misled the court, omitting key facts of child abuse and ignoring his side of the story.
When I see them and get out, play with them, and it's like you get a glimpse of the life we used to have, and then it's gone.
Earl says the problem started when a judge took away custody of his 3 girls, now 5, 6, and 8, for filing a false report with Child Protective Services against his ex-wife. Earl filed a CPS report when his oldest daughter returned from time with her mom with red wounds and bruising. A doctor said the wound was consistent with getting hit with a switch. The doctor filed a separate CPS report. CPS never said that Earl's claims were false, according to him, and the judge did not allow the doctor to testify.
The laws don't matter. The court's own non-discretionary rules don't matter. The facts don't matter. Testimony doesn't matter. It's all just made up.
Who's making it up?
Really, the guardian ad litem.
As guardian ad litem, Pamela Gaines Neely's job is to gather information from both parents and represent the children's best interest. Earl says Gaines Neely favored his ex-wife from the beginning.
She interviewed me once, July 6, 2023. Never saw me with my children, and then would tell the court in writing about me and my children and how I was around them, but she never observed me.
Gaines Neely omitted evidence that his ex-wife hit the children in the head, even though she acknowledged it as true, he says. Earl says he recorded Gaines Neely's acknowledgement. Earl provided us with that recording.
I'm confirming with the girls that that is the method that mom uses. There's no question about that.
Well, you also know that she hits them upside the head when she gets frustrated and angry.
She has hit them in that area. Yeah, the girls will confirm that.
Yeah. So the girls confirmed that they've hit her. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
okay.
State Senator Patricia Rucker says she's received multiple complaints about Gaines Neely. Multiple families have complained about Gaines Neely with the Office of Disciplinary Counsel.
Would you call it corrupt?
Yes. It is. If you're making decisions and they're not based on law, and it's not, the vision of law is that it's supposed to be blind, then yes, that's corruption.
Rucker says the system failures are hurting kids the most.
It really breaks my heart. Every single one of these stories breaks my heart. You're talking about families that are being destroyed.
Earl lives that destruction every day, he says.
Yeah, you miss the pitter patter of the feet.
James Neely says anything related to those children is confidential, cannot be discussed with anyone outside of the proceedings, and that she can't comment on any allegations related to ongoing or possible litigation as a result. Earl's ex-wife, when we reached out, directed us to the final court order and said she had no further comment.
Virginia lawmakers moving to crack down on forever.
Custody of his kids claims West Virginia's family court says
12 miles. I'm 12 miles from there.
It's getting closer to you.
What?
Getting closer to you.
Yeah, well, back in the 17 and 1800s, that was part of Virginia.
Well, we should go try to petition them to give you the back end boundaries.
No, thank you.
Oh man, Facts Over Lies says Fairfax, Virginia, illegal killed his own 3-month-old daughter.
Yeah, I'm only 45 miles from there. Wow.
Wow. Hey, Kristen, that's great about VLEX, but you guys should try the CPSpunisher.com. That's a great one with new case law in it too. Most up-to-date CPS case law that there is. So check that out too. Oh wow. She says female students in school assaulted by illegals. Illegal U documents, boy. Multiple counts of assault and battery on female students. Jesus almighty. They got to do something about this stuff. They got to. That's nuts. But Virginia, not just for lovers anymore, Tiff. Now it's for anti-CPS rhetoric.
Well, CPS already knows what's coming down the pike. They already know the two most critical laws that are going into effect here July 1st.
Mm-hmm. And where's that?
Not our problem. If you had done your job right, we wouldn't have to go and sit in these committees, because I'm about to start my committee again, and make you all play by the rules. The one they hate the most, well, they hate both of them, but the one they hate the most is that they can now be recorded, even in their own offices. And if their reports do not reflect what's on the video or the recording, they're liable to be sued. The other one is they can't just run to the judge anymore. Oh my God, Judge Kellis, Judge Athey, Judge Sharp, we imminent danger.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get permission from the state.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even get any more local calls. And they all go through the state.
Right. They're all they have to go through the state there, right? That's what you guys just passed, right?
Yeah. Starts July 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So sad. Call 1-800-WHY, because that's what it is now.
But I mean, that's the way that all of this stuff should have been going to begin with, because there's too many people that are affected by this. There's too many of them that are just running rogue, oh, we're going to do this and do that and do this, and they're just destroying families along the way and not caring about it.
Well, the next one that I want to work on this year is getting a parental rights memoranda like Texas and New York. Like when they come to your house, they have to give you, just like you got this little piece, this paper right here. Of course, I had to print it out to read it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to give you, if we can get it passed, what your rights are and what your children's rights are. And then 2 weeks later, they're going to have to mail you another one.
Mm-hmm. That's great. That's good.
Well, we'll see if that one passes. I'm going to try and get that one passed next year, because now we're working on next year's bills.
What's the next year going to entail? What are you guys gunning for there?
Well, we have to have all this done by November because they have to be submitted by November to be worked on for the following year. So the main one, I don't know what all the agenda is, but I know this year one of them is going to hopefully be the parental rights bill. So we'll see, the parental memoranda. And that's another thing. That's why we got to take this course, right? That I invited you to.
Yeah.
Because it's about knowing your rights when CPS knocks on the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the exact email I got was, I see your podcast, but I raised you. And then she sent me the webinar link. Parental rights when CPS knocks on the door. And when I registered, I sent her back an email. I said, can I invite Darren? And she said, yes. So that's why I invited you. So it's a webinar that we're going to be doing, or a Zoom.
That's going to be great.
Yes.
Stuff.
And we'll talk about other stuff about this at tomorrow before the show, because I want to talk to you about it before we do it.
All right. That works. Works for me. Wow, this is cool. I'm checking out the well, check this out. This is all the writers with Luthman here. Check out this podcast that they have right here. This is called the Unknown Podcast they started. Check this thing out. And Michael Volpe wants to come on and do a podcast with us, but we got to do it by 5 o'clock on one day of the week. So I'm not going to run into the recording thing again, but check it out.
Okay.
Is victim of family court, is that a fair way to describe it? So
Absolutely.
Before we get into your candidacy, and Julie wrote about your story about a year, probably more than that, but like in a couple of minutes, what happened in your family court case?
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity to just share this platform with your listeners. I've been a teacher, a school principal for the past 23 years in public education with teaching credentials from the state of California. I'm also a mother of 3 amazing children, and I have learned so much both personally and professionally by being an educator and being a mother as well. And 7 years ago, my ex-husband and I went through family court with divorce proceedings. And my son ended up being medically abused by my ex-husband. And I went to court to expose the abuse. I was the one that was punished. I was the one who had false allegations against her by minors counsel, the 2 attorneys, and no one was able to stand up for my son. I chose to be an advocate for my son, to stand up and speak the truth, and therefore I was retaliated against for filing complaints with the Bar Association, Judicial Council, reached out to the FBI, the DOJ. I even filed an appeal, and it was still denied, and I was the one that was sanctioned for exposing my son's abuse.
So that, I guess that's right. That kind of leads right into
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to do our introduction, Becca?
Yeah. So go ahead and bring her on out.
So this is Sarah?
Yeah, this is Sarah.
All right.
She's from Idaho.
All right, you got it.
Hello. And she's gonna like Tiff. Tiff's gonna like her.
Hi.
Hi,
So
Sarah.
Go ahead and introduce yourselves to her, guys, and take it away.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm from Idaho, and thank you guys for inviting me. It means so much. In a really dark spot with this system, so guests just kind of guide me, and I'm here to find out more on how to help me and my children.
Well, where do you begin? Where does your story start?
Well, I mean, it started really, I was just a mom of 3 kids. Their entire life. I've been a mom for 17 years. And actually, my daughter just turned 18. And my 2 little ones I had with a different parent. And we raised our kids for 8 years. And through that, domestic violence was happening. So eventually, I got a protection order. I went to a domestic violence facility and with my kids. And at that time, he was threatening to get rid of me and my daughter and using kratom, amphetamines, getting blackout drunk. I found needles in the house. He was shooting up steroids and testosterone. And so I'm sure you could imagine I'd endured a lot pretty much before I got the protection order. And I wanted to civilly find a way that I could have at least some boundaries. And when that protection order was in place, he attacked me in my sleep. And my kids and I were all asleep. It was actually on my birthday. And it really traumatized me because I was asleep and I didn't know what happened. And I can't see correctly. That's why my eyes are squinting. But also, it damaged me. It scared me to death. And it was at 3:30 in the morning, and our neighborhood was blocked off. And he had a $100,000 bond. And they convinced me to let him get some help. And he eventually begged to be allowed to come back home with me and the children. And so the courts made him take a domestic violence and do some classes and to agree on the custody and that he wouldn't do this anymore. And as soon as he got off probation, 23 days later, he utilized CPS and refused to come home. And so CPS handed my kids to him. And he went and filed a protection order through family court, and it just spiraled from there. I filed a petition for custody, and I had to have a team of people look for him because he had taken the children with no custody now. And I've just been in this battle ever since. I asked for 80-20 custody. I thought I was being really logical and that they were going to see what had happened, but it flipped the custody completely. And now not only are they putting my attorney in jail, but I think they're going to put me in jail too. And in the findings, because we spoke up, because in my case, the opposing attorney was hiding that felony and said no domestic violence had ever happened and blocked my ex parte. And I didn't see or talk to my children for 8.5 months. And the judge found out that this was all, the courts were misled this entire time and said that this was egregious. He found what health and welfare did egregious. He really nailed them, but he had no accountability for the attorney. And she's in a police investigation, concealing that crime and litigating me for 22 months now, knowing that her client, clearly there was domestic violence and they tried to hide all of my witnesses. They tried to hide my mental health assessment, and they would not let anyone talk to my children. They eliminated me. And so it was only because of my attorney I got to see my children. She was a whistleblower. She went in front of our Idaho task force. And she tried to fight my case and realized there was a major problem. She's a criminal attorney. And so she started speaking up, saying there's something wrong. And she tried to disqualify the judge. We've had 2 judges recuse themselves. I still am not having a decision made in my case. I mean, it's been a nightmare. My 3 kids are split up. So my 2 children have separate custody. And then my daughter, I've had her whole life. So she's like spun out because her brother and sister are separated. And I'm constantly trying to figure out how to have 3 different kids in 3 different schools on 3 different schedules and be a mom and fight this lawsuit. And clearly the judge ended up finding in the findings that in fact this was egregious, and yet he even said habitual domestic violence and still is forcing me to do 50-50 custody, and he's holding on to my child until August. So even with those findings, he's still not giving my son back. And all of this was unsubstantiated clear back in March of 2025. So I've been litigated for even longer after that for no reason. So I don't know. And now I feel horrific because I pulled my attorney into this and it's harmed her. And she has like $70,000 in legal fees. She never knew that this was going to do this. And so I've hurt her, and her husband has watched this, and she has a child. And so I worry about her. And, you know, she even asked the judge why, you know, she apologized how she handled herself, but she explained that she was worried about my kids and knew that this was wrong. And he just demonized her and just said, look, I can't hold people accountable for lying in these cases. And we're like, but this isn't lying. I mean, it's in a police investigation. She like committed a crime. Her client and her filed numerous protection orders. In fact, I think I had 7 or 8. Like the girl on parole I've never met too. He disappeared me and got a girl on parole with manufacturing methamphetamines and felony injury to a child. And the judge refused my right of refusal and said that I'm basically kind of jealous. And I'm like, well, no one would want to drop their child off with a girl they've never met that has those kind of charges, and their kid came up with drugs in their hair, in his hair. And now she's been hitting my kid. Like, I've never met this person. She got a protection order against me. The judge that recused himself then signed off a protection order with this girl on parole that has pretty much interfered in the custody of my children as well. So I don't know. The judge did use a DUI I got 24 years ago, before I ever even had children. I was 21 and I don't drink. I don't drink alcohol at all. But still, I was only 21 years old and it had nothing to do with the case. But I think, well, all of my AI just says he's trying to justify why he would be doing this because it does not follow the law. I mean, I just don't know. That's why I'm so scared, because everything says this should not happen and people are just silent. No one will answer me. I've even asked our senators and legislators. Heather Scott said that my kids are with criminals. And I mean, she's a representative for Idaho. And then I'm like, can we fix this? And no one ever helps me fix it. I don't know. And now I'm even more scared now that my judge, he's come after my attorney and she's been withdrawn out of my case since November. And it's March and he's sending my attorney to jail that's not even in my case.
What is he sending your attorney to jail for?
Because they were fighting in my case. And she spoke up against him. I mean, she said she'd give up her bar card over this, and that, I mean, she called out the friendship with the other attorney. I mean, basically, she told him too that she'd exhausted all of our options. She filed motions he's still never answered to. She tried everything. And then she said, well, when you did the findings, I was so hurt to see that you are still holding Sarah and myself accountable, but there's no accountability for misleading the courts and literally disappearing me from my kids for absolutely not a single reason. No reason.
Wow.
So, and I mean, it is hurtful because I will tell you the weight on me sticking up for myself definitely means more than even habitual domestic violence. In fact, he said to my attorney that I would have probably had my kids, full custody of my children, except of the way I handled. And he was only in my case. He started in my case in July and leaned within a week. You know, they got him to lean within a week. He was treating me so mean. They had frazzled up the whole case in between the judge that recused themselves and this judge. And so when this judge came in, they just started annihilating me. Sarah does this, Sarah did this, oh, Sarah does this, even if it wasn't true at all. And by then the judge just hated me, and it weighed more than he even said I was a victim. He even said what health and welfare did to me was egregious, and then he just demonizes me. He said I was the worst litigant he's ever had in 30 years, me and my attorney. And of course that totally hurt my feelings because you can hear me in court just constantly talking to him just like I'm talking to you, where I'm like, these are my kids. I'm just so worried, you know, and then scared. I told them how scared I was and that I'm not educated in this system. Yeah, I mean, they ignored me for 9 months. I asked for an attorney for my children. And then the attorney for my children even said 80-20 custody, that this was domestic violence, that the domestic violence was hidden. And then the judge doesn't use any of that. He just kind of contorts it. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this.
Have you filed a complaint against the judge?
Yeah. Well, that's the other part of this. Yeah, I have 4 judicial complaints, but he's friends, I think, with all those people. And also our judicial council is corrupt. Our state bar is corrupt. I mean, I sent them police reports and a full investigation of what this attorney has done. If I sent you guys all my emails and phone calls and all the police reports, you would literally be like, what the hell? I've reported abuse since July. My kid's getting hit, a dog getting hit, this 3-year-old's getting hit. I mean, it's just totally out of control. I don't know what to do.
Well, it sounds to me like you need to file a federal case and get an injunction against that judge.
So Bethany did file a state case when she pulled out of my family case, which bless her. She did file against health and welfare, all of the social workers involved. And so, I mean, that is pending on the docket, but I need to do something to get out of this family court. I mean, I've put him on judicial notice. I've cornered him. I've literally walked him through each thing he violated, every law. I mean, this guy is just insane. He still hasn't answered to a bunch of motions. I've put in a motion to disqualify him and the attorney, and he said she's a wonderful attorney, and he's worked with her for years, and he cannot believe that I made a bar complaint, and he cannot believe I asked for her to be disqualified, and he denied that. He denied himself. I think this is the 3rd time they've been asked to recuse themselves.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, and my attorney called it out the first at the beginning. She said, I think your relationship and your working relationship's inappropriate, and he has a disciplinary for a work disciplinary, but no one will tell me what he did. They're almost impossible to get. And I know he was removed from some kind of council last year. So, I mean, this guy has some problems.
What's his name?
John Meinhofer.
John Meinhofer.
I also asked him on record if he had any financial motivation in my case. I mean, I think he's very angry at me. I also gave him the law versus practices legislature task force findings and told him, you know, because he said I was the only one with a problem with the courts, and I have a problem with everyone. I have a problem with the attorney. I'm like, this is so weird. I've never had a problem in my whole life until I walked into this courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
And you have made me into someone that I'm not at all. You've made me sound like someone you've made this up, you know, and I'm sorry, but I'm not the only one with a problem with the courts. And I told him I have no contempt. I'm just really concerned that he's missing a lot of concerns about my children, and he's rolling the dice on their safety. He is. He even calls out the black drinking in his findings, and then he's forcing my kids. I don't even see my son. I can't see or talk to him. He can't call for help. He can't call 911. I mean, this is insane. And I'm right here. Why can't my kids be with me while he works? So I said that. Why wouldn't you just revert to me caring for my children while the dad works? And when he's not working, he has the children. Because that brings the risk down. Because instead, the guy is working nights, 12-hour shifts, and my kids have no parent. And that girl on parole, I don't know, is caring for my kids. And I'm cut out. And I've never done anything like that. She had needles around her 1-year-old baby, saved in a drug raid, fentanyl everywhere. Oh, and by the way, the guardian attorney sent that to my judge, but he won't talk about any of it in court.
Yeah, and it's weird because this guy is completely anti-drug, anti-drinking, anti-everything, it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, he demonized me because I admitted I've used marijuana. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he at first was like, what do you say? 48 states people are walking around smoking marijuana. Like, I'm not going to do this. This girl, he saw I wasn't like in trouble for marijuana. But he still ended up really smashing me through the whole court about it. In fact, marijuana and threatening to throw me and my attorney in jail and give us contempt was probably the primary subject every single hearing. It was not even about my children. So, I mean, the whole thing has just been, you know, and then he did a weird thing with child support. He had paused my child support because he, you know, clearly I shouldn't have had child support when it was false allegations and this guy did what he did. Why would you order me to pay this person child support? And I was a mom of 3 kids and a part-time employee when this happened. He robbed me of all my belongings. He evicted me and my daughter with no eviction. I mean, invited some new girl to be a mom to my kids, and I had to pay him child support. And also it was like an astronomical amount of money I couldn't afford. And so he put it on hold. And then after his findings, he credited that to my kid's dad, who lied this entire time and did this to our children. And he gave him credit, and he stole my taxes too. And I wasn't married to this guy. The other judge said 1 child each. Well, this judge said too bad. And my kid's dad wanted my tax returns, and so they also didn't allow me to file my own taxes, even though he has completely criminalized this whole thing. I mean, he essentially kidnapped our children through through fraud. And through it, by the way, all the federal funding, because my son's autistic. So they're squeezing every dollar out.
You've invoked the ADA, correct? I'm sure you have.
Yeah, he denied that too. And the trial clerk administrator told me she remembers me filing something like that. And I'm like, well, that is actually protection for the disability that I have right now. Like, I really truly needed that help. And I'm sorry, but even if you just took anyone that was asleep and had someone attack them in their sleep, for them to make me go to court against that person with no lawyer and no help is, I'm like, how would I even defend myself correctly?
She needs the hammer.
Yeah. I mean, this is horrific. And I will tell you, my 7-year-old knows what happened to her. And she was crying one day and said, I wish I could tell this judge to stop doing this to my brother and sister and me. And I mean, she's 7 and she's just so beautiful and so innocent. And, you know, I just thought if I could just show this judge the pain that my kids are going through. And my son says, no, daddy, no school. If I showed you these videos, you would literally buckle over. My son scream. It looks like a live kidnapping. And he utilized his mother and his girlfriend. And so my son is so freaked out. Like, this judge has no idea, and he wouldn't even take the time to listen, you know, or check out what's going on with my kids. In fact, I've reported this to health and welfare and the police since July, and no one has done a single thing.
Darren, you need to get her in touch with Henry.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I've got some big support in Idaho because people have started to find out, you know, how horrific this is. And I mean, this has killed parents. I'm really especially upset because there's a 12-day-old baby that was found dead, and I've been reporting. Well, this is the thing. I was reporting to our governor and our attorney general that, you know, this was dangerous, and I've worked with kids my whole life, and that I was really concerned about the department. And I met the ombudsman, and I tried to tell the department. I met with the director, and I just said, you know, you guys, this is so dangerous. It's not even about my kids anymore. It's about, I'm worried for the public. And I dealt with the ombudsman, and he said they were going to be working on changing the department and fixing these things. And I found out that the social workers that messed up on my case were out still working and taking kids. And so, of course, I was upset and called the governor's office and attorney general. Their staff like hangs up on me, tells me to just call and report it to health and welfare. They can't help me with anything. And now they made a law. Now they're like, oh, we're going to make this law that we don't know how this is terrible. How did this happen? And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I've been telling you for 21 months. I mean, you should listen when this is outrageous. And I mean, you should hear the numbers that we have. I'm going to just tell you real quick there.
That's a good question. You want, I think it's just again, my mouth. Let's go on.
Uh-oh. Did everybody freeze or just me?
Did we lose
Are you
her?
there?
Yeah, there she
Yeah,
is.
we're here. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to read you these findings because from the legislature, but apparently if I pull it up, it'll stop this from going live. But I mean, the numbers are egregious. I'll send them to you. Like 82% of parents in family courts in Idaho are separated and severed from their children. And later on, they find out it's false. I mean, 82%. 82. So that leads me to the funding, where I went to the family courts and I started talking to Matthew Roy saying, hey, those federal funds you got, are you going to return them and say that it was done in perjury and fraud? And he looked at me and counseled me. He was like, are you doing meditation? And you need to accept things the way they are. And I'm like, no, but this is a lot of money. That I'm concerned about that kind of money coming in. I mean, if you have 82% of false allegations, we need to be reporting that those are turning out to be fraud, and we need to hold accountability. And my children's dad and his attorney should have to pay that back, not more federal funds. Right. So, I mean, there's a ton of money flowing there. There's no motivation for them not to do that because they make too much money. If you took away that 82% and had to return all those federal funds and say it was fraud, well, you would only be getting, 28% that were correct and valid. And that's just, they want the millions flowing. They want the supervised visits, even if it's false, even if it harmed my children and psychologically damaged my children for no reason. And then why would my kid's dad not do this? In fact, people think he's never going to stop doing this to me now that my judge has emboldened what he did. Yeah.
So she definitely needs to get, and you need to get her in touch with Henry.
I was just trying to get Henry up here, see if I could get him on the show with us. But
well, not just that. You also need to go to a website called Toll and Roll and fill out their affidavit part.
Toll and Roll. Let me write that down.
And Becca has your contact information, so we can get Henry in touch with you and everything, right?
Yeah, and I've also got like all of my attorney's testimony. I think you guys will really like it. She just speaks so bravely, and also I have all the audio from my case. I have really great records. I have undeniable proof. So even though I've been traumatized, I'm really smart.
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of stuff for you guys. So I'll provide anything you need. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, we need to get cranking on you. We got to help you out somehow.
I appreciate it. I really do. I think that's the biggest thing. I'm just scared to death every day, and that doesn't help. That actually just makes it even worse for me, which is why I can't see very well right now. This is traumatizing me,
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's not getting better. It's just getting worse and worse. And I'm like 22 months in now.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Darren,
yes.
send or Becca, if Becca's watching, Renee said give her my contact information. So Toll and Roll definitely wants to get in touch with you.
Okay.
Cool.
And I started a fundraiser because even though I'm running my own business, this has pretty much dislodged me as a human being. And so I'm trying to get some support in that way. So I've been sharing that, and I do share a lot of parents. So I'm passionate about this. I know that I have a place in here where once I get through this with my kids, I want to be part of this, succeeding against this system.
What state are you in again?
Idaho. And it's got a lot of problems. We've got a lot of problems in Idaho, a lot of dirty money, a lot of corruption. And, I've reported this to the FBI. I've reported it. Lots of parents have. They did the kidnapping of baby Cyrus here, too. So Ryan Mata did Never in America. And it highlights Idaho in that. And actually, St. Luke's Hospital participated in the medical kidnapping. And so that's a huge problem here.
He does have the Judicial Council issued a public reprimand against him in 2024.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, interesting enough, too, our Idaho Judicial Council testified in front of our legislators, and I'll send it to you, but it's appalling. You guys would be so scared. This guy oversees all of Idaho courts, and he says in there, we don't do law. They only do he says that we do not do law. We only deal with conduct of a judge. So if a judge breaks the law or makes a bad judgment. They do nothing. And so then my question is, well, then who has been watching the courts all this time? Well, guess what? No one has.
Well, if that's the case, then it looks like you have an election in 2 years. You need to start a campaign against this dude now to get him out of there.
Well, guess what? He's getting ready to retire. I mean, he needs to go to jail. He is responsible for the deaths of so many children and parents by having that position and not ever, do you know, parents never get a response on judicial complaints. I mean, I want to get all those records. I want to audit that guy. This is disgusting. And I will also let you know, Idaho has a sex offender loophole where our senators are talking about children having to do custody with even sex offenders. So that's how dirty this state is. We have a high amount of sex abuse.
I got news for you.
Yeah.
First, I'm going to tell you that Renee thinks she might have somebody to help you.
Oh,
but I
thank God.
want to tell you, here
Thank
in
you.
Virginia, if a sexual predator has a child, guess what they get? They get visitation here in Virginia. Even if
Same
it was
with
on
Idaho. They force it here. Yeah.
Yeah. So disgusting.
I know. I mean, this is just getting so far off. And what it's doing to the kids, I mean, it's splitting children. I'm sure you've heard a lot on the ACEs scores. It absolutely matters. And I mean, we're going to have a whole population of these children that have been psychologically fragmented by this system and being severed from their parent, their safe parent. Yeah. And I also want to say this, that I do believe that you can't force kids to endure abuse. I mean, that's the biggest thing I've noticed. These judges really need to understand that, you know, I'm sorry, but once you've committed crimes against your own children and the mother of your children or the father of your children, if it was a woman that was violent, I'm sorry, but if you flip this around, I don't think my judge would ever allow me to have my kids. If I had trafficking heroin, my son was coming up for drugs, I had been violent to my children's dad, I think they would wipe me out as a mom, but it seems like it's a little bit more flexible on the sexual predator side, or in this case, that the judge knows me and my kids have been hurt, and he's like, well, sorry, we'll just kind of roll the dice and see how that goes. And that's why kids die.
He has a bad reputation with the family court, with the courts right here. It says dealing with rights.
He really does. In fact, one of the biggest complaints, I know someone who's been working for like 4 years to get him off. And also
so this comes up. So I'm sorry, but this when I'm asking Grok, I asked Grok to do a deep dive on it, and it comes up with you and your case on here.
It came up what?
Comes up with you and your case of what's going on with you.
Oh, that's great.
It says that he has contempt findings against you and your attorney.
Yep, because I did a podcast on it.
Related to courtroom, that's related to conduct during hearings, alleged bias, retaliation, and due process concerns in the context of child custody and domestic violence allegations.
Yep.
These claims, wow, that's wild that comes up with you.
Yeah, we've been sharing. I mean, I've got some big supporters. It took me a long time too to talk about it because I was afraid. And I think people are so freaked out. I mean, they look at it and they're like, how did this happen? I'm like, I mean, it's so messed up. You can't even really understand how anyone would even make sense of it. And to continue going. I mean, that's where I've got it. It's like, this judge didn't just screw me over. He's literally coming after me. And
the good thing is that you're making noise. You're making enough noise that Grok recognizes that you are inflicting these things on this guy. So what you're doing is working. You know, it's just not working fast enough.
He's mad though. Oh, he's mad. I don't know. Have you heard of that advocate Robert Garza?
Yeah, I know him very well.
Well, my judge refused to let him listen in my court hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, for no reason. And so that was another reason him and my attorney got into an argument, because she's like, well, why not? And he said, because I said. And she's like, well, what law are you, or what rule are you going off of? And I mean, he's like, because that's what I said. He didn't even go off a rule. And he did that when she's tried to object. He's like, I'm not letting you object. And she's like, but I have a right to object. He literally mutes her and says, I'm not letting you.
Wow.
I mean,
why is this guy still on the
insane.
bench?
I don't know. I'm like surprised. I to be honest, I had some other court watchers that they saw him one day. He threw this huge tantrum, and it was like an adult one. You know, I've never seen this. And I was embarrassed kind of for him, because we all stood up. He called a recess and slams the door, and then we sit down and he comes right back in, and we all have to stand right back up. And I mean, he basically got mad about something, and he didn't like what I had said, and went and slammed the door, and then came right back in like 1 minute later. I mean, like, or 30 seconds later. Like, it was really bad. And a lot of people in the public were like, what is wrong with this judge? You know, he has a problem, like a psychological problem.
Where in Idaho are you?
I'm in Canyon County. Caldwell.
I'm reading some of the comments, because we have some toll rollers in here, and they wanted to hear your story. You definitely need to get in touch with them. You need to get in touch with Henry, because he's the ADA specialist. That man can
breeze the stuff.
Well, and you know, the ADA, guess what? I had a domestic violence advocate fill that out for me from California, and specifically helped me file that. And the trial clerk administrator completely disregarded it. And then I asked about it, and they're like, well, they denied it. They said no. And I'm like, okay, how do you say no? And that's not an option. Like, I have a diagnosis for it. I had a full mental health evaluation. But see, the judge also didn't want my mental health evaluation on the record. He tried to strike that out. They never talked about it again. And then also my attorney wrote the judge a letter and filed a formal complaint, and he freaked out. He brought in an attorney that we've never met, by the way. This guy just magically comes to my court hearing and strikes out my attorney's letter. I've never seen this either. And he said he refused to read it. And he basically made fun of my attorney. He's like, I've never had an attorney write me a letter. This is ridiculous. I am not even going to read it. This is totally inappropriate. And she had filed a formal complaint against him, and she had no shame in it. She spent hours working on it, and she thought about it. And then he struck the letter twice, and he refused to have it on the record. I don't still know what's wrong with the letter, but whatever that letter is, he hates it. And I put it in his judicial complaint. I did also ask the bar to investigate him, but they said no, because he's a judge. I'm like, but he's also an attorney. So there's absolutely no reason you should not be investigating him. And he's brought up that he's an attorney in my case, that he was an attorney for years and had his own practice. So he should know, and he should be held accountable for those ethics. And I'm sorry, but the bar and the judicial, they have different rules. So yeah, I wanted him to be disqualified out of my case.
I didn't think that you were allowed to practice law as a sitting judge.
It's supposed to be.
That's what I thought. You can't be a judge and a lawyer.
Well, he had it before he was the judge. So that's what he said. He uses that. He's like, I've been a judge for years, and I, before that, I was an attorney and I had my own practice. And that's how come I think him and the opposing attorney are friends, because she also worked
Now that
for
should be
Canyon County.
That's a conflict.
I've told them this and they keep ignoring that. I mean, I have brought this all up, and even better, she worked for Canyon County and now is a family court specialist. So when I filed the police investigation, they obviously are trying not to press charges on her. I mean, that's a law. She was found doing it. It's misled the court. I've got the judge's findings, and they still will not, they won't even talk to me. You know, the police and prosecutors will not even call me back about it. They won't.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Well,
actually against federal law for him to. He can get the highest misdemeanor. He can be charged with the highest misdemeanor for practicing law as a judge.
Okay.
Well, I think he did that before.
Okay. So there's a lot of people that want to help you. So Toll and Roll. Definitely.
Thank you so
Get her in
much.
touch with Toll and Roll. And Henry.
Okay, Henry. Now, how do I reach Henry? Will I be able to find their phone numbers easy?
We'll get you.
Oh,
in
I can
touch.
give you Henry's number. I can get you in
Oh,
touch with
okay.
Henry.
Well, I just wrote their
sent her
names
your
down for
number,
now.
Tiff. I did send her. I sent you her number.
Right. And get her in touch with Renee.
Okay. Total. Yeah.
And then Renee can get her in touch with the people in Toll and Roll, because it's her group.
Okay.
But yeah, there's 2 Toll and Rollers in here, and I think that they're going to help too. Oh my
you.
God.
Yeah. Well, even better, this judge, I can't believe now he's going to try and send me to jail. He split up our contempt hearings. And so I asked for an extension on mine, and I went and saw the public defender, and you guys are going to shit your pants when I show you the video. They wouldn't let me record them. They escorted me out of their office. They told me this judge found me guilty and I did this on intentional, and then I'm guilty. And he can, I mean, they're like, they like work with the judge. Yeah.
Wow.
We're in criminal court?
This is crazy.
Yeah, I'm not even in criminal. I have no crime. I didn't do one thing. I have one traffic ticket in 12 years. I mean, and I've admitted that I've smoked pot before and eaten edibles in my life as an adult. I mean, I wasn't going to lie about that. Really, I mean,
matter as long as you're safe and you don't like.
Well, and there wasn't like around. I wasn't smoking. I mean, it's not like they came to my house and I was like using marijuana all around my kids, or yeah, I didn't. It was an adult setting. I just didn't want to be a liar about my character. I'm a really honest person, and I was like, oh yeah, I've used marijuana in my life. I knew my kid's dad would utilize that. I would rather just be honest than be a liar. I'm sorry over something so minuscule.
I've learned that
but
sometimes
I had more
being honest to police gets you.
Oh, it was terrible. I know. I was gonna say I will tell you that I almost regretted that, but I just have a high level of integrity, and I couldn't lie about something so stupid, especially when I didn't do anything.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, I learned. Yeah,
I was honest, and I went to jail both times. So I've learned my lesson.
Well, and you know what's weird is it had more weight than trafficking heroin and manufacturing methamphetamines and habitual domestic violence. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, you have to keep us updated, right?
I will.
And I'm sure we'll
Hey,
get
guys,
updates
thank
soon.
you. It means a lot. You invited me. Thank you so much for caring.
Well,
I
thank
can't
you
wait
for
to be on the
sharing
other
your
side helping.
Get you first.
So we got some people that want to help you, so we're going to get you in touch with them.
Thank you.
Right.
You're welcome.
You
Good
guys
luck.
have a great day. Thank you. Keep
Thank you,
sharing.
guys. Yes, we
have a
will.
great day. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. That's crazy as hell. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time. Well, no, we're going to be late tomorrow night, right, Tiff?
8:30.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
We rise up swinging, make it hurt. Your attacks pathetic like a swing and a miss. We count to 10 times. awaken your soul. Rolling deep, we break the mold. Tenfold backlash, watch it unfold. From the ashes of betrayal, the Punisher awakens. From the ashes, from the ashes, from the ashes, from the ashes of betrayal, the Punisher awakens. A devoted father with a heart forged in steel. CPS kicked the door and turned this perfect world to hell. Daughter snatched without proof, no abuse, no neglect. Just that twisted lies and the system begging for wreck.
Family shattered, nights filled with endless pain. But in the darkness, something merciless remains.
Through the fire and the loss, his spirit never broke. Now the hunter becomes the hunted. War has been invoked. I am the CPS Punisher. Punish the lies, fighting for my daughter, for every family that cries. Exposing the corruption, tearing down their walls. Reunite the children, hear the righteous call. CPS Punisher. The system's gonna fall. Devoted father rising, answering the wall. Podcast blazing live, truth cutting like a blade. Tiff and the Punisher. The message never fades, teaching parents their rights, arming them to defend against the machine that breaks families just to pretend.
Helping the broken, to silence the scared, documenting every case where justice has been impaired.
Evil in flames consumed his home in the dead of night, when everything was lost. Beneath that raging light, the mission burned hotter. Refusal to submit, a father's wrath eternal. Too savage to ever quit. From the ruins he stands tall, a voice echoing loud. For every stolen child, he's warring proud. Nita, come home. The war on corruption never dies. No more silence, no more lies. The Punisher is here, feel the fury in our eyes. Justice will prevail when the system finally cries. I am the CPS Punisher. Punish the lies, fighting for my daughter, for every family that cries. Exposing the corruption, tearing down their walls. Reunite the children, justice answers the call. The CPS Punisher, forever in the fight. Devoted father, eternal. Dragging monsters to the light. Punish the lies. The Punisher rises.
We know it's all about the money, we know they lie, we know this is corruption. Does CPS know what they are doing to the children?